Have you ever asked yourself this question? Why is it that some people work harder every single year, yet they still struggle financially? While others, sometimes earning less, somehow build wealth, freedom, and security over time. The truth is, wealth is not about how much money you make. It's about how you think, how you decide, and how you manage money. Most people are trapped in a cycle. They wake up early, they work long hours, they get paid, they spend everything, and then they repeat the same routine for the rest of their lives. And one day they wake up and realize they worked their whole life, but money never worked for them. Now here's the scary part. This doesn't happen because people are lazy. It happens because no one ever taught them the rules of money. Schools don't teach it, jobs don't teach it, and society often rewards spending, not saving or investing. But today, that changes. Because in this video, you're going to learn 10 powerful money rules from one of the greatest investors of all time, Warren Buffett. A man who didn't start rich, a man who didn't chase luxury, a man who built wealth through discipline, patience, and simple principles. Warren Buffett once said, "Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago." Think about that. Most people want results today. They want quick money, fast success, instant gratification. But wealth doesn't work that way. Wealth is built quietly, slowly, consistently. And the people who win in the long run are not the smartest, not the luckiest, but the most disciplined. If you are tired of living paycheck to paycheck, if you are tired of stressing about money, if you want a future where money is a tool, not a problem, then this video is for you. Because the rules you're about to hear are not get-rich-quick tricks. They are not hype. They are not guesses. They are principles that have worked for decades through recessions, crashes, and economic chaos. And here's the key. You don't need to be rich to start, but you must start to become rich. It doesn't matter if you're young or old. It doesn't matter if you earn little or a lot. What matters is whether you're willing to change how you think about money. Warren Buffett didn't build wealth overnight. He built it by mastering money rules that most people ignore. Rules about spending, rules about saving, rules about investing, rules about patience, rules about self-control. And once you understand these rules, money will never look the same again. So I want you to do one thing right now. Clear your distractions, put your phone down, open your mind, because one idea from this video could completely change your financial future. If you stay until the end, you won't just learn how money works, you'll learn how wealth is built. This is not just a video, this is a mindset shift, and it starts now. Let's begin. One of the most powerful money rules ever taught by Warren Buffett is simple, yet life-changing. He said, "Don't save what is left after spending. Spend what is left after saving." At first, this sentence sounds easy, but in real life, this rule is the reason why some people build wealth and others stay broke forever. Let me explain. Most people follow this pattern. They earn money, they pay their bills, they buy things they want, they enjoy life, and then, if there's anything left, they try to save it. But here's the problem. There is never anything left. Expenses grow to match income. The more people earn, the more they spend. New phone, better car, bigger house, more lifestyle. And without realizing it, they become a slave to their own spending habits. Warren Buffett understood something very early in life. Wealth is not built by what you earn. Wealth is built by what you keep. Saving first is not about being cheap, it's about being intentional. When you save first, you are paying your future self before paying anyone else. Think about this for a moment. Every month you pay your landlord, you pay your electricity bill, you pay your internet bill. But do you pay yourself? Most people don't, and that's why they reach old age with nothing but regrets. Saving first means you treat your future like a priority, not an afterthought. Warren Buffett started saving and investing at a very young age, not because he earned a lot, but because he controlled how he spent. He didn't wait to become rich to start saving. He saved to become rich. That's the mindset shift. Rich people ask, how much should I save first? Poor people ask, how much can I spend? And that one question creates two completely different futures. Now let's talk about discipline. Saving first requires self-control. It requires saying no to short-term pleasure for long-term freedom. And that's hard. Because society teaches us the opposite. Social media tells you to buy now. Advertisements tell you that you deserve more. Friends tell you to enjoy life. But no one shows you the price of that lifestyle 10 or 20 years later. Warren Buffett once said that the chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. Spending habits feel small today, but over time they control your life. Saving first breaks those chains. It puts you back in control. Even if you start small, 10%, 5%, even 1%, the habit matters more than the amount. Because once saving becomes automatic, wealth becomes inevitable. Another important lesson from this rule is security. When you save first, you reduce stress, you reduce fear, you reduce dependence. Money in savings gives you choices. You can say no to a bad job. You can handle emergencies. You can invest when opportunities appear. People who spend first are always one problem away from disaster. One illness, one accident, one job loss, and suddenly everything collapses. Warren Buffett avoided this by always living below his means, even when he became a billionaire. That's not luck, that's discipline. Now ask yourself this question honestly. If you lost your income tomorrow, how long could you survive? That answer reveals the power or weakness of your financial habits. Saving first is not about fear, it's about freedom. Freedom to choose, freedom to invest, freedom to live life on your own terms. And here's the final truth. You don't need motivation to save first, you need a system. Automate your savings. Treat it like a bill you must pay, and never touch it unless it's for your future. Because once you master this rule, money stops controlling you, and you start controlling money. This is why Warren Buffett says saving comes before spending. Not because it's easy, but because it works. Master this rule, and you've taken the first real step towards building lasting wealth. If there is one investment Warren Buffett believes in more than stocks, real estate, or businesses, it is investing in yourself. In fact, Warren Buffett once said, "The best investment you can make is in yourself. Nobody can tax it. Nobody can take it away from you." Think about that for a moment. You can lose money. You can lose a job. You can lose a business. But what you know, your skills, your mindset, your experience, those stay with you for life. Most people misunderstand wealth. They think wealth starts with money. But Warren Buffett understood something deeper. Wealth starts with knowledge. Before you can grow money, you must grow yourself. Let's be honest. Many people say they want to be rich, but they are not willing to read. They are not willing to learn. They are not willing to improve their skills. They want results without preparation, and that's why they struggle. Warren Buffett spends hours every day reading. Even after becoming one of the richest people in the world, he never stopped learning, because learning compounds, just like money. When you invest in yourself, your value increases, and when your value increases, your income follows. Think about it this way.
If you improve your skills by just 1% every day, in 1 year, you are not 1% better, you are 37 times better. That is the power of self-investment. Now let's talk about what investing in yourself really means. It does not mean showing off. It does not mean buying expensive things to look successful. It means
If there is one investment Warren Buffett believes in more than stocks, real estate, or businesses, it is investing in yourself. In fact, Warren Buffett once said, "The best investment you can make is in yourself. Nobody can tax it, nobody can take it away from you." Think about that for a moment. You can lose money, you can lose a job, you can lose a business, but what you know, your skills, your mindset, your experience, those stay with you for life. Most people misunderstand wealth. They think wealth starts with money, but Warren Buffett understood something deeper. Wealth starts with knowledge. Before you can grow money, you must grow yourself. Let's be honest. Many people say they want to be rich, but they are not willing to read. They are not willing to learn. They are not willing to improve their skills. They want results without preparation. And that's why they struggle. Warren Buffett spends hours every day reading. Even after becoming one of the richest people in the world, he never stopped learning. Because learning compounds, just like money. When you invest in yourself, your value increases. And when your value increases, your income follows. Think about it this way. If you improve your skills by just 1% every day, in 1 year, you're not 1% better, you're 37 times better. That is the power of self-investment. Now let's talk about what investing in yourself really means. It does not mean showing off. It does not mean buying expensive things to look successful. It means learning new skills, improving how you think, developing discipline, learning how to communicate, gaining valuable knowledge. Skills pay the bills. The world doesn't reward effort. It rewards value. And the more value you bring, the more money you earn. Warren Buffett didn't become wealthy by luck. He became wealthy because he understood businesses, numbers, and people better than most. That understanding came from years of learning. Here's a hard truth. If you don't invest in yourself, you will always depend on someone else. Depend on a job, depend on a boss, depend on a salary. And dependence is dangerous. Because when the economy changes, when technology changes, when companies change, those without skills are the first to suffer. But when you invest in yourself, you gain flexibility. You can change careers. You can start a business. You can adapt. That's real security. Another powerful lesson from Warren Buffett is this. Formal education can get you a job, but self-education can make you rich. School teaches you how to work for money. Self-learning teaches you how money works. That's why reading books about finance, psychology, leadership, and business is not optional. It's essential. And no, you don't need to be rich to start investing in yourself. You can start with free resources. You can start with books. You can start with online courses. You can start with mentors, people who are already where you want to be. The size of the investment doesn't matter. The consistency does. Warren Buffett once took a public speaking course because he knew communication would increase his value. That single decision paid him back for the rest of his life. Ask yourself this. If you could improve one skill this year that would increase your income for the next 20 years, wouldn't that be worth it? That's the mindset of the wealthy. They don't see learning as a cost. They see it as an investment.
Poor people spend money to look rich. Rich people spend money to become valuable. And here's the most important part. When you invest in yourself, your confidence grows. You stop doubting yourself. You stop fearing the future. You stop relying on luck, because you know, no matter what happens, you have skills that can create income. That's why this rule comes before investing in anything else, before stocks, before businesses, before real estate. You are the asset, and if you don't invest in the asset, nothing else will save you. So start today. Read more, learn more, upgrade your mindset, upgrade your skills. Because when you invest in yourself first, everything else becomes possible. This is how Warren Buffett became rich, and this is how wealth is truly built.
Never invest in a business you cannot understand. This single rule has saved him from losing billions of dollars. And at the same time, this is the exact rule that most people ignore and pay the price for. Let's be honest. Many people don't invest because they understand. They invest because they heard something. They heard a friend made money. They heard it on social media. They heard a YouTuber say, "This is the next big thing." And without understanding anything, they put their money in. That's not investing. That's gambling. Warren Buffett never gambles with money. He only invests where he has clarity. He believes that if you don't understand how money is made, how risks work, and why the business exists, then you have no business putting your money there. Understanding is protection. When you understand what you invest in, you don't panic when prices go down. You don't follow emotions. You don't make fear-based decisions. But when you don't understand, every small change scares you. The price drops, you panic. The news changes, you panic. Someone says something negative, you panic. And panic is expensive. This is why many people buy high and sell low, not because they are stupid, but because they never understood what they bought in the first place. Warren Buffett avoids complexity. He stays within what he calls his circle of competence. That means he only invests in businesses he clearly understands. Not everything, just what makes sense to him. And here's the powerful lesson. You don't need to understand everything, you only need to understand something. Too many people think investing is about being smart, but Buffett proves it's about being disciplined. He avoided technology stocks for many years, not because they were bad, but because he didn't understand them deeply. And he was okay with missing opportunities. Because missing an opportunity is far better than losing money on something you don't understand. Let that sink in. Most people fear missing out. Warren Buffett fears losing capital. That difference in mindset creates completely different results. Another mistake people make is confusing complexity with intelligence. They think complicated investments mean smart investors. But Buffett believes the opposite. If you can't explain an investment to a child, you don't understand it well enough. Real investing is simple, not easy. Simple ideas, long-term thinking, clear understanding. And here's another hard truth. When you invest in something you don't understand, you give up control. You rely on luck. You rely on others. You rely on hope. Hope is not a strategy. Understanding gives you confidence. Confidence allows patience. Patience allows compounding. Compounding builds wealth. This is why Warren Buffett says risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. Risk is not the market. Risk is ignorance. Now ask yourself this question honestly. If someone asked you, how does this investment make money? Could you answer clearly? If the answer is no, you shouldn't invest.
It doesn't matter how popular it is. It doesn't matter how fast others are making money. Your job is not to get rich fast. Your job is to stay rich long term. Warren Buffett never chased trends. He chased understanding. He studied businesses. He studied financial statements. He studied management. Because knowledge reduces risk. And here's the most important part. You don't need to rush. The market will always be there. Opportunities come and go, but your money, once lost, is much harder to replace. So slow down, learn first, understand first, then invest. That's the Buffett way. And when you follow this rule, you protect yourself from hype, scams, and emotional decisions. You stop investing with fear. You stop investing with greed. You start investing with wisdom. Remember this: if you don't understand it, don't invest in it. This rule alone can save you years of stress, losses, and regret. Master this rule, and you're one step closer to building wealth the smart way.
One of the greatest advantages in building wealth is not intelligence. It's not luck. It's not even how much money you make. It's time. Warren Buffett often says that time is the most powerful force in investing, and the reason is simple. Time allows compound interest to work. Compound interest is often called the eighth wonder of the world. Why? Because it allows money to grow on top of money, year after year, without you doing anything extra. But here's the truth most people ignore. Compound interest only works when you start early. Many people wait. They wait until they earn more money. They wait until life becomes easier. They wait until they feel ready. But that perfect moment never comes, and while they're waiting, time is passing. Warren Buffett started investing when he was just a child, not because he had a lot of money, but because he understood the power of starting early. He knew that money invested early has more time to grow. Let me give you a simple example. Two people invest the same amount of money. One starts at age 20, the other starts at age 35. The person who starts at 20 may end up with twice or 3 times more money, even if they invest less. Why? Because time does the heavy lifting. This is why Warren Buffett says wealth is built slowly, then suddenly. In the early years, progress looks small, almost invisible, but over time, growth accelerates. And most people miss this because they quit too early or never start at all. Here's the mistake many people make. They underestimate what time can do and overestimate what they can do in a short period. They want fast results, quick profits, instant success. But wealth doesn't reward impatience. It rewards consistency. Starting early doesn't mean starting big. It means starting now. Even small amounts matter when time is on your side. Waiting for the right time is one of the most expensive decisions you can make, because every year you delay, you lose years of compounding. Warren Buffett never tried to time the market. He focused on time in the market, because timing is uncertain, but time is reliable. Another reason starting early is powerful is that it builds habits. When you start early, you learn discipline. You learn patience. You learn how to handle ups and downs. These habits become automatic. And habits, not motivation, build wealth. People who start late often panic more. They rush decisions. They take unnecessary risks. Why? Because they feel they're running out of time. Starting early removes pressure. It gives you room to make mistakes and learn. Warren Buffett once said that investing is simple, but not easy. And starting early makes it easier, because you don't need to be perfect, you just need to be consistent. Let's talk about fear. Many people don't start early because they're afraid of making mistakes, but Warren Buffett believes the biggest mistake is not starting at all. You can recover from a bad investment, you can recover from small losses, but you can never recover lost time. Time is the one resource you cannot earn back. That's why later is dangerous. Later turns into next year.
Next year turns into 10 years, and suddenly it's too late. This rule is not just about money, it's about mindset. Starting early means taking responsibility for your future. It means choosing long-term thinking over short-term comfort. And here's the most important message. You don't need confidence to start. You gain confidence by starting. Action creates clarity. Once you begin, you learn, you improve, you grow. Warren Buffett didn't know everything when he started. He learned along the way. And that's the point. Don't wait to be ready. Don't wait to be perfect. Don't wait for the ideal moment. The ideal moment is now, because time is already moving, and every day you delay is a day compound interest is not working for you. So start small, start early, start today, because when it comes to building wealth, the best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is now. Master this rule, and you give yourself the greatest advantage of all: time.
One of the most misunderstood principles of wealth is this: rich people don't need to look rich. And no one proves this better than Warren Buffett. Despite being worth tens of billions of dollars, Warren Buffett still lives in the same house he bought decades ago. He drives simple cars. He lives a quiet, modest life. Not because he can't afford more, but because he understands something most people don't. Wealth is not what you show. Wealth is what you keep. Most people think success means upgrading their lifestyle. Bigger house, better car, more expensive clothes. But Warren Buffett believes the opposite. He believes that real wealth comes from controlling your expenses, not increasing them. Here's the truth. The fastest way to stay broke is to spend like you're rich before you actually are. Many people earn more money over time, but they never build wealth. Why? Because as their income increases, their spending increases even faster. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it silently destroys financial freedom. Warren Buffett avoided this trap his entire life. He didn't try to impress people. He didn't chase status. He didn't measure success by luxury. He measured success by freedom. Living below your means doesn't mean living a miserable life. It means living an intentional life. It means choosing long-term security over short-term pleasure. Most people spend money to impress people who don't really care. They buy things they don't need with money they don't have to look successful. But the cost of that lifestyle is stress, debt, and anxiety. Warren Buffett once said that if you buy things you don't need, soon you'll have to sell things you do need. That's a powerful warning. Living below your means gives you control. Control over your time. Control over your choices. Control over your future. When your expenses are low, you don't panic when income changes. You don't fear losing your job. You don't feel trapped because you're not living on the edge. Most people are one paycheck away from disaster, not because they earn too little, but because they spend too much. Warren Buffett understood that security doesn't come from income. It comes from margin. Margin between what you earn and what you spend. That margin becomes savings. Savings become investments. Investments become freedom. Another powerful lesson from Buffett's lifestyle is this: you don't need luxury to be happy. Happiness comes from peace of mind, from knowing your bills are covered, from knowing your future is secure. No expensive car can buy that feeling. Living below your means allows you to invest more, and investing is what builds real wealth. People who spend everything they earn have nothing left to invest. And without investing, you're stuck trading time for money forever. Buffett chose a different path. He kept his lifestyle simple so his money could work harder. And over time, that decision made him one of the richest people in history. Here's the hard truth. People who look rich often aren't. And people who are truly wealthy often don't look it, because they don't need validation. They don't need approval. They don't need attention. They value freedom more than appearances. Living below your means also builds discipline. It teaches you to delay gratification. It teaches you patience. It teaches you self-control. And these qualities matter far beyond money. They shape who you become. Warren Buffett didn't build wealth by accident. He built it through thousands of small, smart decisions. One of the biggest was choosing simplicity over excess. Now ask yourself this question honestly. Are you spending money to build your future or to impress others? That answer could change your life. Because when you stop trying to look rich and start trying to be wealthy, everything changes. Your stress decreases, your savings increase, your confidence grows. Living below your means is not a sacrifice. It's a strategy. A strategy that gives you options. A strategy that gives you peace. A strategy that gives you freedom. And that's why Warren Buffett lives the way he does. Not because he has to, but because he's smart enough to know. True wealth is quiet. True wealth is patient. True wealth is free. Master this rule, and you move one step closer to lasting financial independence.
If there is one rule that separates people who build wealth from people who only dream about it, it is this: patience and discipline. Money does not come quickly. Success does not happen overnight. And yet, this is exactly what most people expect. They want fast results, quick profits, instant success, and when it doesn't happen, they quit. But Warren Buffett became one of the richest people in the world not because he was in a hurry, but because he was willing to wait. Warren Buffett once said, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient." That sentence alone explains everything. Impatience destroys wealth. Discipline builds it. Let's be honest. Most people are not broke because they don't work hard. They are broke because they give up too soon. They try something new, they don't see results fast enough, they get frustrated, they quit. And then they repeat the same cycle over and over again. Patience is the ability to stay committed even when results are invisible. Because in wealth building, the early stages are quiet. Nothing seems to be happening. Progress feels slow. Motivation disappears. And this is where most people fail. Warren Buffett understood something very important. Wealth grows slowly, then suddenly. For years it looks boring. For years it looks small. For years it looks ordinary. But behind the scenes, compound interest is working. Discipline is what keeps you going when excitement is gone. Discipline means saving when it's uncomfortable. Discipline means investing consistently. Discipline means not reacting emotionally to the market. Patience means trusting the process even when others are doubting you. Most people don't lose money because of bad investments. They lose money because of bad emotions, fear, greed, panic, impatience. Warren Buffett does the opposite. When the market goes down, he doesn't panic. When others sell in fear, he waits or buys, because he knows success rewards those who can control themselves. Discipline is not about motivation, it's about habits. Motivation comes and goes, but habits stay. Warren Buffett didn't rely on motivation, he built systems. He invested regularly, he held long-term, he ignored noise. That's discipline. And discipline protects you from making stupid decisions. Another hard truth: most people want the reward without paying the price. They want wealth without sacrifice. But every form of success requires patience. You plant a seed today, you don't get fruit tomorrow. You water it, you protect it, you wait.
Wealth works the same way. Warren Buffett held some investments for decades, not months, not weeks, decades. Because he wasn't chasing fast money, he was building lasting wealth. And here's something most people don't realize. Patience is not passive, it's active self-control. It's choosing not to react. It's choosing long-term over short-term. It's choosing discipline over emotion. And this is why very few people succeed. Because quitting is easy, complaining is easy, starting over is easy, but staying consistent, that's hard. The winners are not the smartest, they are not the luckiest. The winners are the ones who don't quit. They keep saving, they keep learning, they keep investing, they keep improving, even when progress feels slow, even when no one is watching, even when results are delayed. Warren Buffett built wealth over a lifetime. More than 90% of his wealth came after the age of 50. Think about that. Most people give up before they even reach their prime. Patience gives time for compounding. Discipline gives direction. Together, they create unstoppable progress. Now ask yourself this. Are you willing to stay consistent even when there is no immediate reward? Are you willing to be disciplined when others are chasing shortcuts? Because wealth is not about speed, it's about endurance. Fast money disappears fast. Slow money stays forever. And the final truth is this: you don't fail because you're slow. You fail because you stop. Money doesn't come instantly. Success doesn't happen overnight. But if you stay patient, if you stay disciplined, if you refuse to quit, time will work in your favor. This is the mindset of Warren Buffett, and this is how real wealth is built.
One of the most powerful lessons Warren Buffett teaches us is this: if you want different results, you cannot think like everyone else. Most people follow the crowd. They buy when everyone is excited. They sell when everyone is afraid. They move with emotions, not logic. And that's exactly why most people lose money. Warren Buffett once said, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." This is not just a quote, it's a mindset, and it goes against human nature, because humans are emotional. We like safety, we like agreement, we like following others. But the crowd is usually wrong, especially when money is involved. Let's be honest. When everyone is making money, it feels safe to join. Social media is full of success stories. People show profits, people brag about gains, and suddenly you feel pressure. You feel like you're missing out. You feel late. You feel stupid for not joining. This feeling is called FOMO, fear of missing out. And FOMO is one of the most expensive emotions in investing. People don't buy because they understand. They buy because everyone else is buying. That's how bubbles are created. Warren Buffett refuses to follow hype. He doesn't invest because something is popular. He invests because it makes sense. When the crowd is greedy, prices are high, risk is ignored, logic disappears, and Buffett becomes cautious. He waits. On the other hand, when markets crash and people panic, fear takes over. The news is negative, people sell at a loss, everyone says this time is different. And that's when opportunities appear. But only for those who think independently. The crowd panics. The wise analyze. The crowd reacts. The wise reflect. Following the crowd feels comfortable, but comfort is expensive because the crowd buys late and sells early. They buy at the top and sell at the bottom, not because they are stupid, but because they are emotional. Warren Buffett trained himself to think differently. He learned to separate emotion from decision. He understands that markets move in cycles. Fear and greed repeat again and again,
And those who master their emotions win in the long run. Another important lesson: the crowd focuses on short-term noise. Buffett focuses on long-term value. When prices drop, the crowd sees danger. Buffett sees discounts. He doesn't ask, "What are people feeling?" He asks, "What is this business worth?" That's independent thinking. And independent thinking requires courage, because going against the crowd means standing alone. It means being criticized. It means being doubted. It means being uncomfortable. But Warren Buffett would rather be uncomfortable than be wrong with everyone else. Most people confuse popularity with safety, but history shows us something different. The biggest losses happen when everyone agrees, when everyone knows something is a sure thing. That's when risk is highest. Warren Buffett understands that the crowd is emotional, and emotions distort judgment. Fear makes people sell too cheap. Greed makes people buy too expensive. And discipline means doing the opposite. This rule is not about being different for attention. It's about being different for results. You don't win by copying average behavior. You win by thinking clearly when others can't. Now here's an important truth. Not following the crowd does not mean acting blindly. It means thinking independently. It means learning. It means understanding. It means deciding for yourself. Warren Buffett doesn't ignore others. He just doesn't let others think for him. He studies, he waits, he acts when the odds are in his favor. And sometimes that means doing nothing. Doing nothing while everyone else is panicking is one of the hardest things to do. But patience plus independent thinking creates powerful results. Ask yourself this question. When everyone around you is afraid, do you panic or do you think? When everyone is excited, do you rush or do you analyze? Your answer determines your financial future, because the crowd will always exist. There will always be hype, there will always be fear, there will always be noise. But wealth is built in silence by those who can stay calm when others lose control. Warren Buffett didn't become successful by following trends. He became successful by following principles. And the principle is simple. If you follow the crowd, you'll get average results. If you think independently, you give yourself a chance at extraordinary results. So remember this rule. When people panic, don't panic. When people rush, slow down. When everyone is shouting, listen carefully, because opportunity often hides where fear is loudest. Master this rule and you'll stop being controlled by emotions. You'll stop chasing hype. You'll stop making rushed decisions. And you'll start thinking like Warren Buffett. Not emotional, not reactive, but calm, patient, and independent. That's how smart money moves. And that's how real wealth is built. One of the biggest financial myths in the world is this: a single salary equals financial security. It doesn't. In fact, relying on only one source of income is one of the riskiest financial positions you can be in. Warren Buffett understands this deeply. That's why he never depended on just one paycheck. He built wealth by creating multiple streams of income. Here's the truth. Your job can fire you. Your company can shut down. The economy can change overnight. And if your income comes from only one place, your entire life is at risk. That's why Warren Buffett believes financial freedom comes from diversification of income. A salary is good, but a salary alone is not freedom, it's survival. Most people trade time for money. They work one job, they get paid once, and when they stop working, the money stops coming. That's not freedom. Freedom is when money continues to come in even when you're not actively working. That's where multiple income streams matter. Let's be clear. You don't need to quit your job to start, and you don't need to build everything at once. You start small, you build slowly, you grow consistently. There are three main ways people create multiple income streams: investments, businesses, and passive income. Investments allow your money to work for you. Instead of saving only, you put money into assets that grow over time: stocks, funds, businesses you understand. Warren Buffett didn't work for every dollar he earned. His money worked for him. That's the shift. Then there's business income. A business doesn't always mean a big company. It can be small, online, local, simple. What matters is ownership. When you own something, you're not limited by hours. And finally, passive income. Income that doesn't require your daily presence. Royalties, dividends, digital products, systems that work while you sleep. Passive income gives you leverage. Now here's an important mindset shift. Multiple income streams don't come from greed, they come from security. They protect you. If one stream slows down, others keep flowing. That's how wealthy people reduce stress. Most people wait until they lose income before they look for another source. Warren Buffett builds income streams before he needs them. That's wisdom. Another key lesson: you don't build multiple incomes overnight. You build them one by one. First, master your main income. Then reinvest part of it to create the next stream. And over time, those streams grow into rivers. The goal is not to be busy all the time. The goal is to be less dependent, because dependence is dangerous. Financial freedom is not about luxury. It's about options. Options to choose. Options to say no. Options to live on your terms. And that only happens when your income doesn't depend on one single source. Warren Buffett didn't become wealthy by working harder. He became wealthy by building systems that produced income repeatedly. So remember this rule: one income pays bills, multiple incomes build freedom. Start where you are, use what you have, build step by step. Because when your income comes from many directions, your life becomes stronger, safer, and more free. That's how smart money thinks, and that's how real wealth is built.